we have our next speaker. I'm really happy that we have Victoria Shutenko here because she will be talking about cloud security. She will be not answering you the infinite fight between DevOps and platform engineering and the differences, but she will be talking today about the adventures in cloud security and what actually DevOps can learn from security. So stage is yours, and we're very happy to have you here.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Hello, everyone. So today we will talk about adventures in cloud security, but first to start, I want to ask who here are DevOps engineers? Please raise your hands. Wow, nice one to have you on DevOps conference. And how much of you have a dedicated security engineers or security team? Nice one. Any DevSecOps here? Wow, guys, kudos to you. Please, I want to clap here because for me, every time DevSecOps is like unicorn. So guys, you're doing perfect work. And today we will talk about what to do if we have no DevSecOps and how to make friends between DevOps and security. I'm sorry for breathing. Maybe it will work better. So my name is Victoria. I am a security engineer. I work as penetration tester in TechMagic company. It's located in Ukraine main office. So we provide penetration tests for web, network, mobile applications, and of course cloud ones. This year I became also AWS community builder. I'm DevOps friendly, so we really have good work with our DevOps teams and not only our. I really saw this S3 buckets go public at night, and your CEO called to you to know what is wrong now. Also, some hard-coded secrets or companies when maybe some financial, very important data was just in base 64, and people think it's okay. So today we will talk about real war stories from the trenches, some strategies to bake in security, and how to build a culture when DevOps and security pure. So let's make a security a superpower, not a problem for your. When DevOps and security clash. So first of all, pressure for speed. Sometimes we have some business to be delivered more fastly. So ship it now, fix it later, and then we have a big technical debt which is working for years. Some misaligned incentives, so like dev teams is measured for speed, and security in most cases need more time, so for this incident prevention to try all the cases, and it can lead to the conflict. So maybe all my previous work have this problem that when people start to think that security is a problem case, and you always have some problems with security team not working together, so not friend communication at all. And also tooling complexity, when we have some tools in your CI/CD pipelines, for example, but they're bolted on, so not baked in. And maybe it's like some SemGrep or other tools findings becomes, hundreds and hundreds, and your dev teams just not start not to looking at them at all. Just because it's too much of them. What is priority, what is most important to start, and just to ignore it because it not work in integrity. And of course, lack of security context. So in the most cases, I think other commands cannot understand the security, what is wrong, what can go wrong, and until it's too late, and you have some breaches. Let's go through common pitfalls. In cloud environments, I have AWS Edition because it's the cloud I mostly work with. But I think all other maybe multi-clouds will find the things which are the same. So the first was public S3 buckets. When it was just test data, we just tried to release something, and then it was closed and find some sensitive info, customer info, and you have a big breach. Also, hard-coded secrets in CI/CD is a very important thing because during pipelines you can find secret in config file, in .env files, so they are hard-coded, or as I mentioned, in base 64, so it's also hard-coded, I think. And then you can find it on GitHub and maybe with some tools like Travelhawk. Also, unpatched MS of containers. I think everybody knows about Log4j. So once images was released and never updated. And then after a few time, half of the word was broken because of this Log4j version. So some things like that. And of course, insecure CI/CD integration. So sometimes you have AWS access key hard-coded, and some pipelines can be compromised because finding these keys in configurations. And also over permissions IAM roles, for example, administrator access. I think everybody, me as well, when trying something on your clouds, was trying, you can't find what is the mistake is, so you get full access just to know that everything is working. So not some permissions problems there, but after that you just forget to delete it or just don't want to delete it because you need to release it faster. And what can become, and a big amount of real cases do, that some crypto miners can be applied on your infrastructure and you have just huge bills on it. And a mini case study with this just small mistake. So team spun a dev environment, and they enabled S3 buckets for some logs to review some data, and just forgot to disable public access. Again, sometimes it was just for a short time to review some data and just forget to turn it off. And it was stayed for more than a month, and after this, 400,000 data sensitive logs exposed. Incident response had more than 3 days. One more question here. Do your companies have incident response strategies? Even less than DevOps, but kudos to you, DevSecOps. I'm sorry. Yes, and this part is very important because sometimes you just know that something can happen, you think about security, but you have pure incident response strategy. So you don't know what to do, how to relate on it, what to do next, and it's a problem. So sometimes if your company think about security and have incident response strategy, you need to have maybe some test cases to apply and to know how you will work with it. And of course, it was lost time and lost money for internal audits. So temporary shortcut becomes permanent vulnerabilities. And let's talk about seamless security integration. First is pre-commit hooks for secret scanning. So you can catch secrets before they hit the repository. Or again, you can do this like regular session. So I think a lot of people using the Travelhawk, so it's popular tool one, or some Git secrets pre-commit to find these secrets or base or encoded data, so it works for it. If anybody have a strategy how to find secrets in your repository, please meet me after this presentation. We have things to discuss. The second one is IAM list privilege with automation. So you can use tools like IAM Access Analyzer or Parliament, and there are another tools when you can find which access is not needed for your role. And better to start to do it earlier, because, for example, I have case when IAM Access Analyzer showed some cases that are not using. We close it, but then we remember that it's using once a quarter, for example. So the day it must run, it was not possible for it. So after a long development phase, you just forgot for some cases like this, where some roles are using or something like that. And of course, AWS config and guardrails, so you can decide rules depending on your product strategy. For example, you don't need public S3 buckets at all, so no functionality needed ever. Or, of course, to get notified or even auto-remediate misconfigurations, maybe using some Lambda when you find something like that. Then we have code and container scanners. I recommend Snyk, Trivi, Chekhov, Bandit. Have you ever used some of them? Maybe Snyk? Yes, okay. Snyk is most popular one, and other Trivi, I think, also. So you can find vulnerable libraries, third-party dependencies, some misconfiguration on Docker files, and all wide usage. Also automate security testing in CI/CD. You can use Burp Suite, OWASP Zap, Scout Sure, some Kubebench. So make this is part of your PR of your development phase, just to run security scans at every phase when you developing something new. And of course, start left, shift right. So start security early, but not stop. So security is always upcoming, always real life process. So it doesn't stop any time. Some companies have these pen test strategies once a year, once a half a year. It don't work. So it's good things. Maybe you need it with your, again, the company strategy, but you need to think about security every time, at least some automation scans or this code and container scanning. And let's talk about metrics that matter. So mean time to vulnerability detection. So think how fast are you identifying issues. So how fast your scan is going, how fast and how regularly you have, for example, those Snyk scans to receive any information. Also, this is high severity misconfiguration code pre-deploy. Track how many those you have for your always deploying some new feature. So, for example, as I mentioned, in some cases you can use SonarQube, and it found just 100 vulnerabilities or some code issues, and you just have no time to pay attention for all of them. So you need to pay at least on critical and high severity one, and it will be the best strategy to start with. You can try to count for each integration, for each run, how much of them, critical and high one, do you have? And think about it, please. Also, how much secrets are leaked a month. So you can have a strategy how of your developers can use some hard-coded ones, credentials, API keys, and some source code explorer, something like that. Also, cloud security posture score. Here we can talk about compliance. For example, CIS benchmarks. You can use Security Hub, Prisma Cloud. I don't mention Prowler because I mentioned in every my presentation, but Prowler will be good advantage for it, and to to know your compliance status, and of course CI/CD pipelines coverage with the security control. So you need to know how much percentage of your processes have code scanning, secret scanning, and of course dependency checks. Why this matters? Because first of all, you speak the language of risk to leadership. It's more easier to say your CEO that we have problems because our CIS benchmark now is 10%. So it feels like a problem. If you say something technical words and this C-level people who make decisions, they have not time to understand, to fill in, and to know what to do with it. So if you speak in language of risk, it would be really, really easier to say why this is important. The second thing is help to justify security investments. Everybody knows that security is expensive, very expensive, and it's why not so much company can afford to use it. But anybody understands that after security breach, you lost more than you can invest there. Of course, you can lose a reputation, and after this reputation, you have no clients, no money, and it really will be more expensive than to put some even automation stuff in your development process. Promote continuous improvement, so it's also always continuous development. You also need to improve your things every time. If you have some security leader who are interested in it, searching for new tools, for new strategies to make it better on every step. And please keep teams focused on impact, not just activity. You don't need to work for a work to deliver for delivering. You need to do a good product, good, secure product. And again, metrics that matters, mean time to vulnerability detection, number of high severity misconfigs code pre-deploy, secret leaks, maybe a month. After doing this work for some time, maybe secret leaks quarterly, 6 months or something like that. CI/CD pipelines covered with security controls, and of course, cloud security posture score, when you, again, can talk about some benchmark to identify your level. And let's talk about building a security-first culture. First of all, good things is security champions in every team. Depends on the structure of your organization, but it's one of my favorite cases. When you have security champion in your team, it's really, in every team, I mean, it's really good part to make friendship between security team and development team. For example, just because this security champion developer can talk words that developers understand, and reason why it's so important, and what you can do from your strategy, for example. So you're translator between DevOps and security. The next thing is to gamify security. Maybe to host some bug bounties or mini CTF challenges. CTF is like capture the flag events. When you do some solutions, it's so gamified. You can do some regular tasks, but also I like it more because some unregular tasks. So you do your work every day. Sometimes it's nothing new. You just forgot a lot of stuff that you already know. But during this CTF, you try to remember all of this. And also, if you're talking about gamified security, you need to find Marek and see this Nix Cloud Nuts. So when you can try some board game, with security culture to make it cool for your team and easier to understand, and you feel like more pleasure, know some problems while gamify security. Also is share goals, so secure deploys per sprint, make security part of the definition of done. So track success by sprint. Again, when you're using some tools like Prowler. In our team, we had just regular condition using it, and with these benchmarks, and you're very happy when you see that percentage is going up every week, and you try to get this full one. Also, pair security with DevOps, what we are talking about in this presentation. So during some incident responses, postmortems, and code review, you just start to work together and do the thing that everyone wants. And from know to how, so focus on guardrails, not gates. You will be really better. For example, for now, we have a lot of AI solutions, and of course, there are a lot of security issues you need to think about, and your security team don't need to say no to you. So you need to discuss how to do it secure, how to do it productive, and how to deliver a secure and innovative product, but not to block it or be some like mini about it. And after this, I want to share some real story, how junior developer accidentally have some hard-coded secrets in the sprint, but because of having some pre-commit hook from security champion suggestion, for example, it never reached the repo. So it was never on prod, it was never ability to look for this secret for some hacker or anyone else. So instead of potential breach, the team just fixed it in a short amount of time and delivered secure product. So because security was already in the process, and it's why it was prevented earlier than delivered. And what DevOps can learn from security engineer. So things like an attacker. You know, offensive security pen testers, they work like ethical hackers. So you do all the things that hackers will do, but for good reasons, to know how to be more secure. So if were trying to break this, how would you do it? And you need to think it from DevOps part as well, because it's, for me, again, DevOps understand infrastructures more deeper than security engineers are. So if DevOps will be integrated in this process, they can give you much more than just from your side. Automate responsibly, so not automation is good. So everyone wants it, it's fast, it's easier, it's less people mistakes in it, I thought, but not all scripts, pipelines, and bots are secure by default. So you think you need to rethink it in automation as well. Guardrails, not gates. So don't stop deployments, you just need to guide them. You don't need, again, to stop some innovations, you just need to guide them to be more productive and more secure. So make it suitable for every teams and for the finished clients as well. Then prioritize risk, not just features. So you don't need to think about risk or vulnerabilities after the delivering. Of course, now our clients want to deliver fastly and do it without some additional points, I think. But if you start to do security after your process, it will take more time, more money, and you better to do it before processing. So like using threat modeling, risk scoring, and some red, yellow, green zones to understand where you can potentially have more risk or less one. And make security boring is my favorite stuff. So when security processes are invisible for your teams, so during some development, they don't think that, oh, we need to communicate with security, or oh, we will have a problem, something like that. If they're already integrated in your pipelines, if there's some sneak already running and it's just working well, so no one will think about the security as a problem. So much security is invisible, most likely your team will work with it correctly, I think. And too long didn't read, security isn't a blocker. Security is a booster, and if you're working in the right way, your product will be effective, secure, and in future, so after some your concurrent have some security breaches, your product will win. And the final takeaways, so for me, and I hope for other projects as well, security and DevOps is superpowers, like DevSecOps. Security isn't a blocker, so it's a really business enabler, and nowadays it becomes more and more popular to look into security deeper. Yes, it's not cheap, for example, but when your DevOps try the security measures as well, so you will have innovated and secure products. So it won't be a problem, it won't be a blocker for your development. And DevSecOps isn't a tool, it's a mindset. So as we heard at the start of our presentation, what is DevOps? So again, DevSecOps is like your mindset, how to think, to build a system, and they be secure from the start. And small, consistent security improvement, so it will be big bang fixes, because every time you provide some even small security tips, it's more integrated in your product, so it will every time develop your product in a good way. And threat security as a code, just like infrastructure. So you have to version it, automate it, review it, test it. Security is the same like anything else, so like any other pipelines. And some additional things I want to add, it's AWS penetration testing workflow. So to add some tools for CI/CD scanning. So as I mentioned, Sneak, Trivi, Checkov, Oasis App, Burp Suite will be very helpful for you. If you're talking about cloud monitoring, it can be like native tools, AWS config, Security Hub, Guard Duty, but it also can be some open source one. Again, Prowler, Prisma Cloud, or something else. Also, pre-commit, it's Trufflehawk, Git secrets pre-commit, so it's tools to help you to find some hard-coded secrets or some sensitive information disclosure. IAM governance is like Parliament, IAM Access Analyzer, and AWS Identify Center. And secret management, like, again, native one, secrets manager, or some third parties one, which can be more suitable for you. And a small checklist before deploy, so you need to scan your code for vulnerabilities. Secret scan can be passed. Cloud config validated, so not some open data which need to be closed, some open ports, and IAM roles to be reviewed. So if you're talking about IAM roles, it's always better to use like whitelisting, not blacklisting. So do less permissions and give one by one only those which are needed. So not everything to make it faster, I think. For example, again, IAM list privilege setup. So we often get this administrator access by default. Again, sometimes we just check in some new feature and want to know that it works well and give full access just to know that your feature, your code is working okay, and this is no some IAM restrictions. And so better way is always to start with no permissions and give only needed one. Use access analyzer to generate policies based on real usage. And as I mentioned, it's better to use it earlier, because after some time, when you have a huge amount of roles, you can just forget why do you need this role, why you applied it 2 years ago, for example, and it can hit some of your processes which are running not so regularly. Also implement role assumption STS for only access which is needed, and enforce multi-factor authentication for sensitive operations, if you have sensitive products for all operations. For example, here we have a policy which is not secure enough. For example, yes, we have S3 list buckets, not full access, as DynamoDB, but also we see some wildcards which can't be here at all. So please review IAM policies, for example, quarterly. Of course, it depends also how much IAM policies do you have. Also, to rotate credentials, again, it can be quarterly. And use conditions, for example, it can be IP addresses, MFA, for example, maybe you use internal VPN, and you can make access only for the internal VPN your team are using. So every time it's possible and not break your processes, but help them, there is a big amount of opportunities you can try. And that's all. I will happy for your questions, and also this QR code to download my presentation if you want, and I will be very grateful if you can give me a feedback to know what I can improve in the future. Also some links for security webinars in AWS and something else. So thank you a lot.
That was a blast. It was very good. So I hope that everyone get at least some new information from Victoria's presentation about cloud security and DevSecOps, and you see this is very important. When she said this is a booster, it just reminded me Magic the Gathering, the booster packs, if somebody plays Magic. But it was very good, and I really like that she mentioned also the fact about it needs to be enabler, you know. And if you are doing anything in DevOps world today and you have insecure deployments in cloud, that usually means that if something will happen, your company can end. And I was actually part of a company called SolarWinds, so I can tell you how it goes with the stocks when you get attacked. So now it's time for the Q&A. So I think, we already have it. Okay, yeah. So you are ready. That's good.
Hi, thank you for presentation. Great content. You were talking about the principle of least privilege, which I totally agree with you. But I wanted to know your opinion on administrator permissions for the actual administrators. So would you say that DevOps engineers should also have somewhat limited permissions, or rather unlimited?
For my opinion, it must be limited at all. So maybe you have DevOps team and you have leader, and maybe only this leader can have it, but not to use it all the time. So you have permission for DevOps roles, which they really needs to, and the administrator who doesn't use it all the time. So to use it only when you need to change something. So for me, it works mostly in this way.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Another question? Okay.
Thank you. That was amazing. And again, thank you for allowing talk about security in the DevOps. That was not the case the last time. You mentioned shortly the security shifting left, the security champions program. What is the biggest challenge that you had in implementing such a program?
So nobody wants to do it. It was the main problem, honestly, because every team has their culture and they don't want to do something extra. But honestly, we started with threat modeling, and this helps us a lot. So we had a call with our CEO, and he said, you need to do it. We start to do it, people start to like it, and those who was presented on the first session and do the greatest work, so they start to like security from this gamified threat modeling sessions, and want to become the security champions by their own. I also know few people who, after those, start thinking about changing their career to deep into the security.
Thank you.
Hello, I like to ask, is there some automated process how to ask for elevated privileges when in it? Of course, it should be like logged and so on, or it should be always manual? Thank you.
Again, threat modeling. I don't know. We were starting like to review all IAM roles one by one, and thinking what can go wrong. So the privilege escalation was the first thing we was discussing so there are providers who give you access to, from my side, it was AWS Labs for trying this privilege escalation and understand it's deeper. Even one person in your team who tried it can understand how it can work, but again, in our cases, after this, we will try and threat modeling and just thinking how we can do this privilege escalation at all. So, of course, we have some logs when something go wrong. Also, I really highly recommend honeypots when you use some creds in your environment, and this notified you when some privileges were escalated and someone inside your system who must not be there. So logs and monitoring for some unusual activity. But for me, again, it's quarterly to review this IAM access, and if you don't need it, just to remove it, just not to have this escalation happen. Thank you.
I have a question on you. Did you mean like privilege elevation or privilege escalation? Because I was like trying to listen too carefully. So I have like an addition to that. If you want to do privilege elevation during the CI/CD, you will need to use just-in-time access platform like Teleport or something, where you will get elevated privileges for a specific period of the time, and you can connect it to AWS. I just want to add to that because that's what I was trying. I really want you to leave the conference satisfied with all your questions.
Thank you, Mark.
But it's true that the threat modeling is something what is very underappreciated, like in any companies, and some companies are thinking that they're doing threat modeling, but they are not doing that. And that's also a big problem. And thank you for the answers. It was really good. Thank you. Anyone else? Any questions? You are quiet. This is scary. If people are quiet, that means that you are hungry or you need to have some coffee. So because you need to have some coffee, we have a pause right now. I think at 10:50.